Hey, it's your boy, the Crypto Goon. Shout out to all my goons for pulling up once again. I'm live from Medellin. Let me just show y'all the vibes real quick before we hop into these charts. But here's the thing, right? When it comes to cryptocurrency, right now is one of the best times to be in the market because a lot of the different altcoins and a lot of the different utility coins have hit their lows, because of several things. We always talk about chart patterns. We always talk about, how the effect that tariffs have, and then obviously the cycles that cryptocurrencies have. I'm actually out here at the pool, but this is the best time to get into it. So I'm gonna go over a few charts and we're gonna look at a few things. But yeah, never be afraid to take the leap. Obviously, proper money management is always key. And in addition to that, the other thing is investing in coins that you really believe in, the technology. You wanna see the vibes right here? Medellin, Colombia. Check out the vibes. But anyway, less of this and more, let's hop into the charts.
Okay, so I just want to talk about XLM. Now, if we hop over to the XLM news, you'll see all of these news outlets, talking about Stellar, XLM breakout, top 10 Stellar wallets hold nearly 8% of XLM. Pepe gains Stellar nears breakout, right? 50 million XLM transacted in 3 days. And one thing that this shows is that most people are late to the party and cannot or do not have the ability or the knowledge to be able to find these entries and know when things like XLM are going to go down or when they're going to go up, when they're going to go sideways. And this is one of the reasons why I always talk about chart patterns. Okay, I knew, and even people that watch this channel, we knew what XLM was going to do before it did it, right? So I'll give you an example of this chart right here. This is something that I posted on TradingView. I posted this on December of 2024, December 5th. Okay, and I said, look, XLM is going to come down. Temporary downside, then major upside. Okay, and if I hit the play button, all right, boom. As you can see, we came down. Okay. Now, we already knew what level it was going to hit. I talked about Stellar coming to, the 50 or it actually almost hit the 618. But when it comes to cryptocurrencies love the 50% retracement. And sometimes they come down to the 618, which is right here. As you can see, we had a pin come down. Sorry. And then we came back up and now we're just sitting on the 50. So this is what people are looking at. Okay. We knew that this was going to come to this area before it happened. And again, I'll show you again. Okay. I talked about this right here on December of 2024. Said we're going to have a move down followed by a move up. Okay. And look what happened. I'll press play button again. Boom. Okay. Now we're just sitting on the 50% retracement. All right. So you can actually figure these things out, right? Before they happen. So that way, when it's going to turn around, where it's going to turn around, and where it could possibly go. So I'll let you know where it's going to go from here. So let me reverse the Fibonacci. And I love the 141. That's $1.49. All right. Now this is a short-term projection. Okay. This is not long-term. This is short-term. I'll give you my long-term projection also. But short-term, after we finish this correction here or so, I'm looking for a move up. Now, as you can see, we're actually in this bullish triangle pattern. Okay. Now, this bullish triangle pattern, this is a long-term pattern. As you can see, this is the monthly chart, right? So each candle is 1 month. So this is a long-term pattern. All right. But before we get to the long term, let me drop down and show you something. Okay. So if I drop this down onto the daily, now we created a pattern here. As you can see, we broke to the downside. Now, this is the pattern that everybody else is looking at. They're looking at this falling wedge. Now, when it comes to wedges, I'm not a big fan of them because a falling wedge can go either way. It's a lot harder to predict where price or, is price going to break up out of the wedge and, become more bullish, or is it going to be, drop out of the wedge to the downside and become more bearish? So me personally, I stay away from wedges. I stick to my triangles and I stick to my Fibonacci, right? Those are the two things that I can use. And if you watch my previous videos, how I'm able to 90% or so accurately predict when and where the market is going to turn around. So when you look at these articles, and if you actually click on one and you read it, right, they're actually referring to. So In early May 2025, Pepe and Stellar XLM are showing signs of potential upward moves as crypto momentum builds. Pepe coin has confirmed a breakout with 20% gains and a bullish price action, with Stellar is approaching a key resistance zone with analysts watching for a breakout above 40 cents. Okay, so we already knew what the zone was before it happened, right? But once it came into that zone, now people want to talk about it, and that's most of the time, that's when people pretty much have missed it, right? Like this drop down right here, and you could have got in and rode this wave up here and took profit. As you can see, somebody or a large institution or some other people took profit here because now you see the market starting to come down. That's people liquidating positions, right? So I always talk about in every video, how you can take advantage of these things. It's really not that hard. You just got to learn the patterns. Now let's talk long term, okay? So long term on XLM, of course, I'm using the Fibonacci, $11.78. See, this right here is just a correction. Okay, we're going sideways. This is a correction because we had this large move right here, right? This is a large move. All right. And markets don't just continue to go up. I know everybody wants cryptocurrency to just go up, go up, go up. But that's not the case. That's not how cryptocurrency works. Okay. So I'm actually looking for a move up into this area just like this. Okay. A same size bullish move to the upside, which will put us at about $11.78. So if you look at the size of this bull run, you measure it, right, and you come to the base of the beginning of this bull run, which is, this base right here in this area, it puts us at $11.78. Okay, so, there are several things that can trigger this bull run, right? Obviously, anything that Stellar does as far as, any countries or organizations that they decide that decide to opt or adopt their technology, right, can do that. Obviously, if the Federal Reserve decides to cut interest rates, that will cause the market to start in this bull run because the pattern is already here, right? This is a bullish triangle pattern, and you can keep it simple by just going on Google and just typing in bullish triangle pattern, right? So, you can see what these things look like, and you can compare just to, look at it and say, okay, it looks like this. And you can look at several charts. You can look at charts that are obviously drawn, and you can look at charts that are, real world market examples. And I've actually shown on my channel and in some of my trading view too, real world market examples. So we're in a triangle pattern like this, right? So we had this bull run, and then it went into correction territory. And then at some point we will have the breakout. And if it's somebody like me, I like buying at the cheapest point possible. I bought some here, obviously, and I dollar cost average into here because sometimes with these triangle patterns, it doesn't mean that we're going to come all the way to the bottom again, right? As you can see, even though we're in correction territory, we're still creating higher lows. Like the lows are getting higher. In this area, it got slightly higher, right? But, we're having higher lows, okay? So we're just waiting for a breakout out of this triangle and up into, where we all will be making a lot of money, especially if you have been holding on to Stellar for a while. Shout out to everybody that has been holding on to Stellar since it was here, which most people haven't. Most people didn't really get into Stellar until we got to like right here. All right, so, anybody that was holding, they most likely, most people didn't liquidate, so now they're like, they're still above their entry point, but they're not where they want to be. So that move is coming. You just have to be patient. I know a lot of people want to wake up tomorrow and have $1 million in their Coinbase or in their wallet or whatever, but you have to be patient with some of these things. As you can see, like I showed in this is December of 2024, right? And we just really completed the majority of the move down. I think that we'll stop here. I personally don't think we're going to go any lower. I think from here we'll shoot off. So I just wanted to just give you all this idea on XLM, and for anybody that's new, how over here, how we look at these things. And you always keep it simple. You always manage your money appropriately so that you don't really get burned, right? So I always wait for these things before I take large positions. I wait for them to come into an area like right here on these lines before I say, okay, I'm out, right? I'm sorry, before I say that I am taking a position or a larger position. And yes, I do have some XLM that I don't sell, but from time to time, I'll add more or I'll liquidate, right? So when we had this large candle up here, I already knew what was going to happen. I already knew that it was going to go into another correction because this candle is very large. So I took some profits here and then I started buying in down here. Okay, so I did previous videos. Feel free to go through my channel, check it out. I show before and afters of when these trades, when I initiate these trades and when I exit them. And I show you the patterns before they happen. And then I show you again once it has completed. I appreciate you all tapping in. It's the #1 goon, the crypto goon. Crypto goon out.